Welcome to a brand new season of You Talk. I'm Megan Demolina, school counselor at Noble Middle School. Our show is all about the middle school student, testing, bullying, dating, stress, and so much more. We discuss it all. Joining me each month is a dynamic and engaging panel of middle school students ready to discuss the issues and tackle the tough questions. We kick off our show with some Q&A, featuring questions on a variety of topics from middle schools throughout the school system that our panel of students are ready to answer. No question is too tough, no topic is too difficult. All right, panelists, here is question number 1. My mom said basketball is too dangerous to play, but it is my favorite sport. I don't think my mom should worry because I'm still doing well in school, and I never came home with any bumps or bruises. I am planning to talk to my mom, but I don't know what to say, and if she gets too protective, she won't let me play any sport. I need help.
Well, you should tell them that what you just stated, that you haven't gotten hurt and that it is your favorite sport, so you should be able to do whatever you want to do. And if it's to where they think it's like gonna hurt you, then you should actually talk to them and say how basketball isn't life-threatening, so they shouldn't have to worry too much. And unless there's actually been a problem with basketball, then they shouldn't have a reason to worry about it.
It sounds like just talking about the pros and the cons and looking at some stories and doing some background research on the sport and talking it over with your mom would help weigh the pros and the cons. Anyone else?
Well, you have to understand that she's being overprotective because she loves you.
True.
And you can just kind of try to make a compromise, maybe tell her everything that happens. And if you get hurt, you have to go out anyway, so.
Right, there is an element of risk-taking involved when trying out for sports, any sport really, and trying to do what's best for you and your family and making a cohesive decision together for your health and wellness, and just for trying all different types of activities and extracurriculars so that you can have that opportunity to give it a chance. Here's another scenario. Here's another question that we have today. My dad always wants to be right no matter what. The worst part is that he always wants me to get an A on my report card. And when I get a B, he flips. Also, when he is wrong, he blames it on other people. What can I do without getting in trouble?
Well, he is your dad, so he's gonna worry, no matter what it is, no matter what the topic or whatever you're doing, he's gonna worry about it. And as a student, I know how it's like to get an A and a B, so you can tell him how or the reason you got a B, and if you're actually working hard in class and doing a good job and then you accidentally get a B or earn the B, you can tell him how you're trying your best and then maybe even talk about how you're going to improve your grade. And you can tell him how one B isn't that big of a deal because it is an overall grade. So as long as you have other A's to eliminate that B, then you should be okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Part of growing and learning in life is failure, and sometimes failure for some people is getting a B or maybe getting a C or lower, and finding the goals along the way and talking about the goals along the way, short-term and long-term goals, can really help solidify a plan so that there's room for growth and improvement, definitely. How about you, Ella?
Your parents are tough on you because they love you and they want you to do good in life. So if your dad flips out because you get a B, you can just tell him, I've gotten A's the rest of the year, and your dad should be proud of you of getting the rest of A's, and a B is not the worst grade in the world. Everyone gets B's every once in a while. So you don't have to be a straight A student to be successful in life.
Good point. Our last one is from a 12-year-old girl who writes in and tells us that she loves to act. It's what she loves to do the most. But amateur stage acting is not enough. She wants a proper camera, lights, costumes, and much better co-stars. And she needs an agent for that. But every time that she tries to explain this to her parents, they ignore her and they say, don't bother trying to become famous, or something like that. They just think I want to be rich and famous. I don't. I just want to be among people who feel the same way. How can you relate to this student?
Well, it's always good to start small, so you can find somewhere in your community maybe, find other people that like to act, and you don't have to go big or go home. You can kind of start small and find places that are less serious maybe, and maybe just a small school play and go from there.
Sounds like getting that experience in a community level, school level, community level, can help build up a resume or just experience in general about, how to, set your goals and intentions and start on a small scale, but build up towards a bigger scale. If that's something that this student is very passionate about and wants to achieve, it sounds like, we say, especially in talking about goals and setting dreams, to dream big and to set those intentions early in life.
I can relate to that a lot. I really want to be an actress. That's what I want to do with my life. So I can relate to that. But I think what I did, I sat down with my parents and I had a talk with them. And they are understanding that like you have to start small and you have to start somewhere. So I started doing some community theater and I took an acting class, and I mean, you have to start somewhere, and you need credits to get big jobs. Like you said, you have to start small to get anywhere.
It kind of sounds like your parents are kind of putting you to the side and they're kind of being a little negative. So what you could do is maybe like find a friend or anybody that like can relate or that cares about you. Well, not that your parents don't care about you, but that are willing to help you out on your situation. And you can try to keep sorry. You can
just having that
Yeah.
that friend will help kind of support you not only in your quest and dreams, following your dreams, but just to have someone else that you have something in common with will help your parents understand a little bit more about what you need to do or what you want to do on a smaller scale to help build your dreams for the future. Thank you all. Great suggestions. That wraps up U Talk Q&A. If you're a middle school student with a question you'd like our panel to discuss, there are several ways to submit that question. First, you can drop the question off to your school counselor or social worker. 2, you can email it to nhcstv@gmail.com. Or 3, use good old-fashioned mail by sending your question to NHCS-TV UTalk, 1802 South 15th Street, Wilmington, North Carolina, 28401. Now, coming up in our next segment, my co-host Paige Turner will join the panel to discuss what's trending, things like Rachel's Challenge, Power School, and even the new Star Wars movie. So don't go away, we'll be right back.
The magical thing about using energy wisely is that anyone can do it. Use energy-saving light bulbs, energy-smart power strips, and turn off computers and game systems when not in use. Get together and make a difference. Learn what you can do at energy.gov/tink.
Welcome back to U-Talk. I'm Paige Turner, school counselor at Noble Middle School. This month, we're tackling a variety of topics that are trending both in our school system and nationally. All right, so the first one we're going to talk about is there's been a lot in the news lately about high school football injuries. And I know you guys are not in high school yet, but we do have a football team, and Johnny, you're part of that team. What are your thoughts about, the safety of football and, there's certainly the chances of getting very seriously injured. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I did a report on this actually in my language arts class about 2 weeks ago, and most injuries in football aren't critical. It's like 13 to 15%, and even when they are critical, they're not extremely critical. Maybe like a concussion or a broken bone or something. Usually you sprain your ankle or maybe twist your ankle. It's mainly with the feet and the legs. But football injuries aren't really that common. Like pro football, that's a different story because they're grown men. Sure. But high school football, they're just people. They're not like they haven't trained their whole lives and most of their lives now to be where they are today. And if you sign up, you know the risks and everything. So your parent has control about the injuries before you even start football. So, they kind of knew it was eventually going to happen. It's part of growing up. You're going to get hurt, all of that stuff. So, parents have been through it themselves, so I think they should probably know that's going to happen anyway.
Right. I think the statistics, and because you've done the report, was that I think during this football season, this high school football season this fall, there have been, I believe, 7 high school students that have died from their injuries, and then an 8th that has been, seriously injured, but they're, recovering. And like you said, the number of players that are actually playing football out there compared to those, those 7 that have died, statistically the percentage is not that high. However, there is a serious risk, for that. However, there are other risks of injuries in other sports too.
Well,
yeah.
I think that when they sign up, they know they're at risk. So it's kind of up to them that they want to play. And if they're really into the sport, they're going to play. So they should know that they have a risk of getting injured.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I was on the team, and there weren't many injuries, but the injuries that happened were kind of big. Like we had a student break his leg, and somebody broke their arm just on our last game. And it is going to happen, and you can't avoid injuries, but you can try to stop them by looking at the risks and trying to do something about it.
What measures do you think are taken, and you probably can answer this being on the team, what measures are taken to kind of promote safety with the players when you're playing the sport?
Well, we do have obviously the protection, helmets, pads, and that does reduce the hit, a blow to a head, but it doesn't reduce all of it. And then there are violations that happen, you can't pull on somebody's mask, and if you do, they call it, and you could get pulled out from the game if you do that.
And I think even in some high schools now, they have these helmets where they have some type of sensor where if somebody is, has a serious head injury, it starts flashing or lights up or something. That certainly doesn't prevent, the students from, the athletes from getting hit, but it does alert somebody that, okay, this is a serious injury that needs to be addressed immediately versus letting them continue on with the game or, not taking them immediately to the hospital. So it's certainly something that's up for debate right now, but we'll just continue to watch. And like you guys said, the parents and the students, do know the risk when you get involved in a sport, a contact sport like football, and hopefully the necessary precautions are being taken for sure. All right, let's talk about another one. This one's kind of in the area of entertainment. Then we have a new movie coming out, the new Star Wars movie. Anybody know much about it or planning on watching it? Any Star Wars fans?
I personally have never seen a Star Wars movie, but it looks like a good movie. I know the story of it, and I know if you watch the original movies one way, it's about Luke Skywalker, and the other way it's about Darth Vader. So it's pretty cool how you can put the movies in different orders to watch them. But I'll probably go see it. Yeah. It looks really fun and cool.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I've only seen like 10 minutes of the first one, and I personally didn't like it, but I have seen like clips and like previews of them, and from what I can see, it's gotten better, and like the actual quality of the movie seemed to get better. So maybe like fans of the series will enjoy the next movie.
And you have to remember the original Star Wars movies, I'm not sure the exact date when they were, produced, but it is a long time ago. You guys were not even born, but, and so obviously the quality of movie making and cinematography is changed. But for the current generation, they might be able to relate with that piece. All right. Any other movies that you guys are looking forward to? I know Hunger Games is going to be coming out in November.
Yay.
I'm looking forward to that one. But one movie I just saw, the Maze Runner Scorch Trials, that was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of want to see Goosebumps because I used to read those books a lot in like 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, and I really want to go see that movie.
Awesome. Anybody planning on going to see Hunger Games? This is the last one, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
The last
4
part.
movies.
Then they're
It's kinda-
gonna go ahead.
It's kind of sad to like see like a series gonna end because everybody is like anticipating the next movie.
Yeah.
But now that it's over, once that movie ends, it's kind of gonna be sad,
Yeah.
and everybody has to find like a new series. It kind of reminds me of like Harry Potter when
Yes.
that ended, because that
Absolutely.
lasted a while.
Harry Potter, I think of Twilight, I think of, I guess the Divergent series is another one that's still kind of ongoing, but a lot of the novels and books that have kind of turned into movies. It's kind of like an event,
I like how they like do like 2 parts of the last book, so that way they have another year
Yes.
to give us.
Yes,
I
they
like
kind of
that.
prolong it a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So, absolutely.
And I hear after the last movie, the Mockingjare's done, they're gonna do a prequel to it where Haymitch, Katniss's trainer, they're gonna do his games.
Oh.
Yeah, and
I
that'll
haven't
be
heard
pretty
that.
cool.
Now, do they have a prequel like a book?
She's writing one right now.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I've been hearing like on the internet and
Yeah.
the news and stuff. So
Kind of like Lord of the Rings and Hobbit and
I'm excited.
that whole piece. Very cool. Very cool. Well, the last thing I just want to touch base with you guys on is this past month, all the middle schools and high schools had the Rachel's Challenge, presentations and assemblies in our schools. And we talked about it in our last show that it was going to be something that was going to be coming up. Now all of you guys have been, a part of that movement. You've witnessed the presentation. What are your thoughts just kind of after the fact, having been a part of that?
Well, the presentation was really emotional. Like the video clips were intense of the school, and the message was really great. I mean, Rachel had a great personality, and it really made me want to be a better person. The way she stood up for people, and she was really confident in herself. That made me want to be like her.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she did have good intentions, and like what Margot said, it did really impact all of us that saw the presentation. So, and it was kind of like her story is really interesting because she wanted to make a big impact, but it seems like she knew that she was kind of gonna leave us. And it's amazing how her dreams have almost come true.
Absolutely.
The way she wanted to impact the world that way, and how she knew she had this feeling that she was going to die young. It was really kind of spooky because, I mean, all of that really came true, and she definitely made an impact on me because I try to generally be a nice person, but I think I'm seeing it more now that I've experienced the assembly. And
Seeing it more within yourself or other students, or
I
both?
think both.
And I guess that's going to be kind of my next question is how do you see any changes, or do you see anything different in the school community since the assembly?
There were some changes. I mean, just with certain people though. And I'm sad that it didn't affect more people because I kind of tugged on everybody's heartstrings.
Or it should have.
But I mean, like, I kind of felt bad because not a lot of people were doing it, and like most of it was only during the NAB week. Like when if you did something nice, you get your name put into a jar and you win something. But after that week was over, it was just back to normal, except for like maybe a few people who were trying to change their ways. Like all the fights and the arguments and everything came back to how it was,
Right.
and all the bullies and
I
everything.
saw some people, reaching out to people that may have been sitting alone and just trying to be more nice. I saw that some,
Good.
but he's right. It kind of does fade. You kind of have to remind yourself not to forget.
Absolutely, and I think that's the whole idea of the FOR Club, the Friends of Rachel Club, that some of you might have been a part of. Anybody at our school is open, is welcome to come join that, and that's going to be meeting once a month, and that's going to happen at all the middle schools and high schools to help continue, this message of kindness and compassion, and they likened it to a chain reaction and trying to keep that chain reaction going up until the March follow-up, because we are going to have somebody come back in March. So I'm hoping that we will be able to kind of keep this going, because it is so important, especially at this age, for you guys to, to feel accepted, to feel loved, to, be treated with kindness. So
This is definitely the age where the most drama happens, and just everyone, like, you have to look a certain way to fit in. It's just, it's
tough.
crazy.
It is.
Like, I ask myself some days, like, why can't people just see the, the best in another person,
Exactly.
not just the way they look? Because that
Absolutely.
doesn't matter.
Absolutely. Well, and I think that's something that we're going to kind of keep going. We're going to continue on with, and being a part of the FOR Club, you could help kind of put that message out there for sure. Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you, panelists. Now, don't go away. When we come back, we'll talk about what we're all thankful for this year.
You definitely have to have nerves of steel.
I would not trade this for anything.
You wake up and you don't want to do it, but once you're into it, it's hard to stop.
Welcome back to U-Talk. With Thanksgiving this month, we thought it would be nice to close the show with each of our panelists sharing what they are thankful for as we close out of the year. So what are you guys thankful for?
I'm thankful for family.
Yes.
I'm thankful for friends
Friends
and family.
and family.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for everything I have and own and being on this awesome show.
All right. That's a good answer.
I am thankful for that, like, I get to live in a free country, and we can, like, pretty much do almost whatever.
So do you guys think about that really? I mean, I think you truly are thankful for what you just shared. Do you think about, like, what you have versus maybe others that maybe don't have, or, that
I feel
not
like
taking for granted things?
Yeah, I feel like people
Yeah.
do take things for granted and don't really like take time to appreciate the things they are thankful for.
A lot of stuff I've seen on the news lately about Iran and Afghanistan and all Asia and stuff like that. I've actually learned about how much stuff I am able to do and able to have here that people all around the world never have even thought about having.
Absolutely.
So, like,
Yeah.
I'm really thankful about that. Just like thinking about it, I'm just kind of like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's all.
In social studies, we watch Channel 1 News every day, and unless we have a test, but and all the migrants coming, like, to Europe and coming from Mexico, trying to escape their home, and they're leaving everything behind just to have and get a better life. But I mean, we don't really think about it a lot.
Yeah.
And the time we kind of live in, like because back then it must have been, it's not the same, and sometimes it could be like harder, and they don't have like the things we have, like technology, and without technology it would be hard for all of us to communicate has like family that's like far away, or just even like in the same city but like on the other side, and like phones, that helps a lot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that, sometimes it's, you know, not depressing to think about, situations, but at the same time, it's good for us to be mindful of what we do have and,
Definitely.
what others now or then, back then, have experienced. So thank you, panelists, very much. Everyone, please remember that there are lots of individuals in our community who don't have a home or even money to provide a meal for all their family members. So here at UTalk, we encourage you to consider making a donation to the food bank, Mother Hubbard's Cupboard, a local church, or many of the other organizations that open their doors for food donations during this time of year. Well, that wraps up our program this month. We hope everyone has enjoyed this edition of UTalk. If you missed any part of this program, then check us out online at www.nhcs.net and click on the blue NHCS TV icon to find us on the school systems webpage. I'm Paige Turner. On behalf of my co-host Megan DeMolina and the entire UTalk panel, thanks for watching. We hope you'll submit questions to our show and tune in again next month for an all-new edition of UTalk.